Big tech companies say they're taking action to make sure that artificial intelligence can't be used to disrupt democracy, right? Microsoft, OpenAI, Google, Meta, many others. They've announced this new plan to tackle AI-generated misinformation and deepfakes of political candidates. Cory Johnson's with us on this, the chief market strategist at Futurum, and he's the host of the Drill Down podcast. It's always good to see you, Cory. And how big a deal is this? We've seen, and by the way, we talked about this last election. I don't know if it was the one before, but definitely last one. But now the technology is so advanced. How big a deal do you think this is?
It's infinitely larger than it was not just 4 years ago, but 4 months ago. The capabilities of AI, driven by software, driven by the speed at which data can move in ways that it couldn't, again, last year, is just breathtaking. And the advances that we're seeing at Futurum Group, we study these companies that make this stuff, right? We study the companies that make the semiconductors. We study the companies that manage the data. We study the companies that are able to create the software to make AI functioning. They're making such amazing advances in such a short period of time that things that weren't possible 4 months ago are possible today.
Now, this plan the tech companies are putting together, I'll put up some bullet points on the screen so we can talk about what they can do about it. So we acknowledge it's a big deal. What can you do about a tech accord to combat deceptive use of AI in elections? They say they want to mitigate risks of deceptive AI-generated content. See there about assessing the current AI models, understand the risks, detecting and addressing deceptive content, providing public transparency on this, developing some new technology there at the top of the screen. So what's most important? What can actually be done to get out in front of this, do you think?
So best practices are certainly important by the big tech companies. And we see things like Adobe making it impossible to create certain kind of images like cigarettes and children in the same query. You can't create that image. If you go on to Gemini, which is Google's image creating AI, it's hard to create an image of a doctor with a mask because they're worried about misinformation as it relates to medicine and all the nonsense we heard during the COVID pandemic. But I do think that this is kind of a game of whack-a-mole from the creator's standpoint, that fundamentally it requires the tech companies to be responsible, number one. But number two, it requires every member of our society to consider the information that we're getting in the source, because it's so easy to fake the things we used to take for granted, and to recognize that there's a difference between some knucklehead on Instagram and watching NewsNation or reading the Washington Post, and understanding that real journalists who are creating and cultivating content that they're going to stand behind in the future is different than just consuming it from wherever you can consume it. And as a consumer, we got to take these things into mind.
Right. No, we do. And the global nature of this year is interesting. I mean, it's 83 elections this year, largest concentration for at least the next 24 years. We'll put up a chart here we have on our telestrator, if we can, on the screen here. Very high tech, by the way, that we've, this is from the New York Times and Anchor Change, where we just have a bunch of circles representing, see that, Cory, of all the elections. So like here in June.
Did AI do that for you?
Yeah, exactly.
That's very impressive.
We spare no expense. June's 31. 31 elections in 1 month around. Of course, ours is, are going to be in November when you have a bunch of other countries. But the idea that, it's a problem for us, but it's probably a bigger problem even in some of these countries that are not doing as much about it. Is that fair? Or how do we look at it globally?
100%. We're going to see a lot more of that probably outside of the U.S. And we're also going to see bad actors. We know that, for example, Russia has tried to interfere with elections in the U.S. and outside of the U.S. to just try to foment chaos. Certainly we've seen that with what they've tried to do in Ukraine, they've tried to do in the U.S., they've tried to do it elsewhere. But we see bad actors in the world using their technology to just mess up other countries, to create chaos, because that creates opportunities for them to do the things that they want to do. And we're seeing that in elections across the world, that are elections, frankly, affecting a lot more people than just the United States.
Yeah, I think some people listen to our conversation. What are these guys talking about? What is this specifically? There's 3 headlines we can put up on recent deepfakes to give you an idea of some of what they do. First one, see there from Bloomberg, AI startup 11 Labs banning an account blamed for the Biden audio deepfake. I mean, he sounded exactly like the president. The second one there is from France 24. No, Taylor Swift did not endorse Donald Trump at the Grammys, right? And then the other Bloomberg one, trolls in a Slovakian election tap AI deepfakes to spread disinformation. So trolls in a Slovakian election to, the president's voice. What stands out to you about the capabilities here?
Look, we got to take it back to this is a new technology that is capable of lots of great things. But like any technology, any new technology, it's going to be used in war and politics and porn. And that's what happens with every new technology. But it doesn't mean that the technology itself is bad.
Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.